I am bad. I'm bad. I'm evil. But I'm protected by powerful forces. Forces you can't even begin to imagine, little girl. If you harm me, you shall know the wrath of he that is darkness and terror. Your blood will boil and you will know true suffering. Stand down, she witch. Your defeat is at hand.
Shut your mouth.
Hello and welcome to Revisiting Sunnydale. This is episode 135 and I am Camila.
And I'm Marcella.
Let's talk about follows and shares and stuff. Not for very long because we don't want to take up a bunch of time. But basically, if you're on Facebook, we are Revisiting Sunnydale there. If you're on Twitter, we're at Back to Sunnydale there. And on Instagram at RVS_podcast. Please like us and follow us and interact with us on those platforms because we like to interact with y'all.
We do. We really do.
And, it's way belated because I don't know, right now we're just a week later, but by the time this episode airs, we'll be way behind of Buffy's Slay Day. I did not do anything really to observe, but what was it, the 25th anniversary
of
hurts.
Buffy? That's why, because it's a full-ass grown child. Like you had a full baby and it grew up. And it's having babies.
Right, yeah. Graduated from college. They have their at an entry-level position somewhere with their career. Fully ahead of them. And then you go,
what have I been doing for 25 years? Where am I right now?
It's like 25 years? I feel like, the Jeremy Piven in Grosse Point Blank when John Cusack comes back and he's like, 10 years! Although doubling that 5. So
I love that movie so much, and my name's in it. So
that's right. Of course,
I love it.
You don't get that too often from Marcella.
No.
I don't think I've come close with Camille.
No,
but
we will never go to Disney and find our names on a cup.
Nope, which is sad. Sad state of affairs. Always been that way, and I think that's why I bought a Cricut so I can put my name on my own thing.
You guys,
exactly. All right, so today we are here to talk about Buffy, obviously, but we got some other stuff. We like to talk about other pop culture things and stuff that's happening on the TV and the big screen sometimes. And it seems Marcella has a hot topic that I don't know nothing about.
So, you're not watching Bel Air then?
I am not.
On the Peacocks.
No, I am not. Because
do you have the Peacocks?
I do. I do have the Peacocks.
You have the Xfinities, so you probably get the Peacocks for free, I guess?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So, you got to watch Bel Air.
Clearly,
so if you guys don't know, Bel Air is a dramatic take on Fresh Prince. It is violent.
Which is the main reason. Okay, so this is the main reason why I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that. Not because it's violent and dark and dramatical, but because, why can't we just call it something else?
Right.
Why do we have to do a reboot?
Right. Because a lot of the time watching it, I sit there and I'm like, you ain't Carlton.
Right.
I'm like, you ain't Aunt Viv.
Exactly.
But I'm about 6 episodes in, and they're slowly Will right off the bat. You're like, that's Will. They changed up a couple of things. He doesn't have a smelly cab driver. Jazz is his cab driver. So
okay, interesting.
That's how they meet, and that's kind of cool.
Okay.
But then in the latest episode, I'm in the kitchen doing dishes. Mom's washing it in the living room, and I hear this voice, and I'm like.
And immediately your soul starts to quiver. Ooh,
yes.
I know this voice.
I know this voice. I'm like, please don't let those eyes be there when I turn around, because I'm not sitting down. And I turn around, and sure enough, it's Michael Ealy.
Bless his beautiful-eyed soul.
Woo.
Right, okay, so there it is. So what I'll be doing tonight is watching Bel Air.
Mm-hmm. I like it a lot, and I don't have the Peacocks. So I have to wait until I'm at my mom's.
Where
she has Xfinity and I can watch it. Because I'm not adding another one.
No, man. It's just too much. All these streaming services. And I need to sit down with an Excel spreadsheet or something and try to actually do the math. Okay, now should I just go? I mean, at this point, I feel like there is nothing I'm really actually watching on cable. Everything is the only thing that I'm really watching on cable is probably Walking Dead, and
Right.
even that I'm just like, ugh. And you know, and
And at
still
this
I could get AMC
Right.
streaming
Right.
app. Like,
And if you get the AMC streaming app, you're also going to get, I think, Sundance and Shudder with that. So
Yeah.
right there, it's like, well,
like I'm just gonna need to sit down and do the math and just actually see how much money like I will save with because this is dumb. Like this is just it's
Right.
too much. It's
and then the other thing I wanted to bring up really quickly is the replacement of, so you still have cable because everyone likes on a Saturday to sit there and flip through the channels.
yeah,
Right.
and also I can just like throw on like Nick Jr. or something and
Right.
let Kaj be entertained for a while.
Right. Well, let me reintroduce, because we may have talked about it before, but let me reintroduce you to the app that is Pluto TV.
Oh yeah,
Pluto TV is 100% free. All you
That's
gotta
right.
do is log into Pluto TV. I don't even think you need an account. And it has
no,
hundreds of channels. We're talking
Interesting.
24 hours a day of 90210 in Melrose Place.
oh wow, yeah. I think I did start watching that a while, like maybe early on in the pandemic. I think I
Right.
may have gotten into Pluto for something. I don't
It's
remember
got
what.
game show channels. It's got
Wow.
music video channels separated by year and genre.
What? I did not know
Like,
that. I did not do a
yes.
deep dive of Pluto,
Yes.
apparently. Wow.
It now has a soap channel where it plays, like, so far I've only seen like Bold and the Beautiful and Young and the Restless, but it's a soap channel.
Right.
It's got 24-hour news networks. It's got sports channels, cooking channels, lifestyle channels, Nickelodeon.
Wow.
It's got Paramount Picks. It's got movie channels broken down by year. So you've got like,
Oh, that's glorious.
yeah. And then
Because
it
just the
also
other night,
has-
I was like, I really want to watch one of the 90s thrillers. Like, I
Right.
just somebody give me a
Right.
list of 90s thrillers.
And then I stumbled across, it also has like British shows. There's a Doctor Who channel. There's a Baywatch channel. But there's
Dang.
also a new Black Classics channel.
Oh,
where
wow.
it plays like classic black sitcoms. We were watching
What?
The Jeffersons last night, where Louis Gossett Jr. came to town and tried to
man.
hit on Wheezy.
Oh,
And I loved it. We were cracking up. Like,
oh my
it's great.
goodness.
and there
One
are
of my favorite-
commercials, so
But still,
you
like,
can
yeah.
get shit done.
Right, yeah, exactly. You can go potty and all that stuff. Yeah, one of my favorite Jefferson's episodes with Billy D. Williams on there, and when he's like, and, you know, Flo is like a really big fan, and she meets him, and she's like, a Billy D, a Willie Bill, a Billy Bill. She can't say his name right. Like, it's so funny.
So we're not sponsored by Pluto TV. We would love to be sponsored by Pluto
So
TV.
if there's anybody out there who knows how to make that happen, we are open to that. Also, I guess while we're at it, Tubi, if you want to do
Yes.
that too. Like, Tubi's also pretty good. I kind of got hooked on there when I started watching Party of Five.
Tubi had old seasons of Hollyoaks from like 2005. We sat there
Wow.
and watched like 2 years worth of Hollyoaks. It was great. I'm a little pissed about Scream
Why are you pissed about it? I don't know if
because I hated it.
I don't know if I hated it, but I was
I
definitely
Hated it.
definitely
so
not
much.
feeling it. Like, I still like, I keep meaning to try to watch it again because I just watched it the one time. I was like, I don't know if I liked it or not. There were some
hated
things.
it.
Spoilers, guys, if you haven't watched Scream. So, you know, fast forward for like 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
I really did like, and hats off to Killing Dewey.
Yeah. Hats off to Killing Dewey.
That was like
proper move.
Exactly. I think that was the top moment for me in the movie. Like, even just like the way that it happened, like, awesome. And
Yep.
two, just like, I just kind of feel like, you know, David Arquette just like, please just do it. Like,
I'm not doing this again. I'm out. It's really awkward now. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
and he's just so grisly. Like, his character is just like not happy
Right.
about being there as just the whole time. Yeah, I mean,
One scene he's limping, one he's not.
Right.
He's like, fuck this, I'm done. But for me, the thing that made me hate it was you knew who it was right off the bat.
yeah,
From the second his stupid face showed up,
right.
I was like, he did it.
Even Dewey was like, it's probably you.
Yeah. It's totally you. And then we all knew there was going to be a second person.
Right.
And the reveal of the second person was such a bummer.
It was.
Like, just such a bummer.
I actually picked her before I picked the boyfriend when, like, in the first opening scene, like, when I was like, she's the one, like, she did it. So, yeah. And it was a real letdown. And she was, like, doing a really terrible caricature of, like, Stu and probably, like, even Timothy Oliphant's character, too. Like, it was just, like, a bad mashup of those two characters. It didn't make sense. I was really bummed out. There were so many pointers towards Stu. Like, there was so much, like, they just kept, like, dropping Stu in there. Like, even, like, with his house, and I called that immediately. Like, we were right there. I was like, that's Stu's house.
That's Stu's house. And for her reasoning just to be that she lives in Stu's house.
Right. Like, you had no control over that.
You just want to murder.
Right.
Like,
just call it what it is.
The house didn't make you do it. Like, if we're going to Fast and Furious this and change it into, like, the house possessed you, I could actually get on board with that.
Right.
Like, there was so much death in the house that the house is now...
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm in for that.
Right. Sure. All right. That I will accept. Yes, absolutely. Not just because, turns out when I was 10, I found out that this house that my parents bought and we lived in all my whole life, like, that doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
Doesn't make any sense.
So, yeah, the killers and the reasonings behind their killings was awfully disappointing to me. I'm not sure how... the fact that she kept seeing... Billy?
Billy?
Yeah, in his death, like in the clothes he died in.
Yeah, that was weird.
You didn't know him.
You didn't know him, and I'm pretty sure they didn't put that in the paper.
Right. So why was...
So the only way that you would know that is because you saw Luke Wilson dressed up like that in the movie Stab.
Right.
And you substituted your father's face.
Which seems an awful lot for a hallucination.
That's an awful lot. It's a lot of steps to take to get to Billy. I really, really, really did not like bringing Sydney back. I would have rather she had the cameo where they called her, told her what was going on, and Dewey made her promise not to come, and she was like, I won't, and that's it.
Right. That's all I needed.
Because otherwise, you just showed me your word is shit.
Right. It's like,
your word is absolute shit.
Like,
you made a promise.
Are you kidding me right now?
Right. Like, I call you and I'm like, Camila, there's some shit. We got to go back. You're like, fuck off. I got a kid.
Right. Yeah. I won't. I mean, God bless you.
I'll be your 911.
Right.
I will call 911 from here for you.
Right. Exactly. It's like you check in with me.
You text me brown coat.
Exactly.
I know what to do.
You check in with me on a regular basis, so I'll make sure you're cool. And if something happens, then I know to send in the cavalry because I ain't the cavalry. I will.
Right.
What I am is mission control. I will sit
right.
on my end.
You're the guy in the chair.
Right. I will help you research on my end and find some folks and make sure folks can find you. But nah.
Send an Amazon drones with weapons to your location.
Exactly.
No. So those are all the reasons I really, really didn't. Plus, it could have ended after 3. I didn't like 4.
I hated 4. I hate 4. Like, to me,
I thought it was a big piece of poop.
Yes. And, like, I don't know why, but a lot of people are really, really stand for it. And I'm assuming it's probably just a younger generation that does because...
They like Emma Roberts.
I hate her.
And I don't understand.
She's so annoying. I don't like her.
You know that meme of her having a fit?
Yeah. That's her.
That's how I feel about her.
Right. Every time she shows up.
I'm like, why?
That's me, exactly. It's like, why do we keep giving her jobs?
I don't understand. So I really hate 4, and I just didn't feel a need to do this again.
No. I guess I was kind of like holding on hope that because it was never 100% confirmed that Stu was dead. Like, right. Everybody thought he was, and I was just kind of like hoping like, well, maybe he comes back. Like maybe he right. didn't die. It like that would have been amazing.
You get a TV dropped on your face.
I mean, I would expect him to come back with a lot of scars and shit, and like like he's been in an institute.
There was like electricity going.
I know.
Through it.
I was just, I just really want Matthew Lillard to be in more things. That's all.
I will give it to them for the opening scene, making me super paranoid about getting an electric lock.
Yo, right?
Like I have been wanting an electric lock for so long.
Right?
Until that moment.
Right. Exactly.
I was like, well, fuck that. There goes that. I'm not safe with that. No, that's not safe.
No, exactly, because somebody could just hack into your shit. But but on the downside of that, I was looking at the locks and was like, those locks look a little old. I don't feel like that they would be compatible with this technology.
That's true. Yeah. So it's on Paramount Plus right now. So if you guys have that, you can go watch it if you want.
Yeah.
But I say skip that and watch Fresh on Hulu instead.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
That shit's fucked up.
I want to see it really badly. Like, I'm still like doing like work viewings of things. Like, I have to watch Demon Knight tonight. But which, you know, no problem of mine. That's fine. I love it.
Right.
But it's just like yeah. So hopefully I can talk Dan into watching Fresh.
Fresh makes me feel bad about myself, much in the way that this episode makes me feel bad about myself.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Because you shouldn't like Sebastian Stan in Fresh.
No.
And I really do.
No, I was peeping. I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, this is going to be problematic for me mentally. I'm going to have a lot of questions about myself.
And I have those same questions after this episode.
Yeah, same Z's. All right, so let's get to Marcella and I's deviant behavior, mental original air date of season 7, episode 9, Never Leave Me. Original air date November 26, 2002, written by Drew Goddard, directed by David Solomon. Buffy hopes to learn more about what she's up against with the First by taking Spike prisoner. Xander and Anya interrogate Andrew. He's not.
This one's not that far off.
It's not that far, but I wouldn't call him a prisoner.
No.
Like, Andrew's the prisoner.
Yeah.
Spike, y'all keep
I
talking
have
about
a lot of
him.
questions about everything, how everything is set up in this episode.
Yeah, so our guest stars, co-stars are Harris Yulin as Quentin Travers, Tom Lank, yay, as Andrew, and D.B. Woodson as Robin Wood.
Woodside.
Thank you.
Woodside.
Thank you. Why can't I say this man's name? And while we're at it, what does the DB stand for?
Right? Dwight Bradley?
Dante Braxton? I don't know. If anybody knows, I don't care enough to Google it. So any hoozles, Xander's fixing up the fucking shambles of this house.
He's done. He's so mad about it too.
He's so mad. He wants no conversation about anything. Just don't talk to me. Don't talk about it. Let's not do this. And while he's doing this, everybody is kind of talking about, so yeah, Spike, what the fuck? Why is he here?
And why is Andrew just jaunting around town by himself?
Like, the only thing
in Spike's clothes.
The only thing's missing was the Staying Alive soundtrack. Like,
yes. Could they not afford it?
Right.
Like, was it not?
Because he's just strutting around town and doing his thing. And but like the bird of the week comes from the opening scene. It's right off Anya, bless her fucking soul.
Bless her.
It's like, yes, Anya, you better tell it. So they're all like, well, yeah. So Spike's killing now, and why is he here? And that doesn't seem like a good idea. And Spike's like, shouldn't we stab him through the chest? Isn't that what we do when these things happen? Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what we do? Is that how we handle these things? And did you notice they were just like, so, and...
Right. Nobody, y'all still, like, Anya, why are you hanging with these people?
Right? I would have put whatever I had down and just walked out.
Right.
I'm done.
Y'all don't care about my well-being. This is not a safe space for me. So, yeah.
But did Andrew go to Spike's crib and steal his clothes?
No, because he mentions later on about how expensive that coat was, which also brings me to my other question of where's Andrew getting money?
His butcher order we'll talk about later. I don't know where he's getting all this money.
I mean, did he still... Because, I guess, originally when the trio first started, they had a bunch of cash. They robbed some banks or whatever. So they stole some stuff. So did he keep his thievery? Did he keep his stuff stashed somewhere? Maybe he did. So
I don't understand Andrew on a whole. Like, your dead best friend is talking to you. and then he morphs into your other dead best friend.
Right.
You've put your hand through his non-corporeal body. And you're still just like, okay, let's go do this thing.
Yeah, these orders, these things you're making me do seem totally logical. And also he doesn't want to. Like, he's having this whole like mental crisis, this whole morality thing, and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not good at stabbing. Can't I just like walk around some more in my cool coat?
And the thing he stabbed Jonathan for, he messed up because it didn't have enough blood. Because poor little Jonathan doesn't have enough blood in his body to open this seal.
I probably should have told somebody I was anemic.
Maybe
he should have. I guess. So now he has to, kill someone or something else. There needs to be more blood. Next shot, we got Buffy is tying Spike up to the chair, and he's like, make it really tight, blah blah blah, yada yada.
No. Why is he in a chair in your bedroom?
Right.
Why is he not in the basement?
A wooden chair that could be broken by Dawn could break that chair. Like, so Spike in a tear, that doesn't make any sense. Why this makes sense to you, Buffy? In the meantime, Principal Wood is handling some juvenile delinquents. I guess they did something wrong, whatever. He gets a little up in their face. Like, I kind of appreciate his,
a little bit.
I appreciate his techniques here. Like, at first he's like, something about your permanent record. They're like, sure, whatever. And he's like, okay, I was bluffing. Here's what's gonna happen.
And I'm like, why is this scene in this episode? What is the point of this episode? Even the next part where Dawn comes in to cover for Buffy, we didn't even need that. Could she not have just called in and took the day off?
We didn't need any of it. Actually, I mean, was it just
You're a guidance counselor?
Was it just like, and are you actually even like being paid? Like, I'm still not 100% sure what the logistics are of your employment, quote unquote. Maybe it's just to remind everybody that he's here.
I mean, the scene that we get later with him, totally needed.
Right.
100% needed. But it doesn't set up. Like, this scene doesn't set that scene up.
No, like, it would have been a little bit better if he were a little more threatening to these guys. Yeah. Like, if we want to, like, misdirect and be like, oh, Principal Wood is bad or he might be evil, like, maybe there should have been a little more threatening with his students.
Little more Snyder behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Less fluty.
Yeah.
More fluty.
Yeah. Like, he was just kind of like, oh, well, I'm going to call the police. Like, okay, well, that's logical. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
These kids are assholes. I just don't get why this scene, like, did they run out of ideas for, like, things to do in this episode? I would have personally had 3 more minutes of Anya interrogating Andrew because it's a delight.
It's glorious, actually. It's like some of the best stuff. Meanwhile, Buffy has called the council, says she needs to find Giles. And they're like, I'm not in the business. We're not in the business of keeping track of our defunct watcher.
Like, well, is he defunct? Where? I thought in season 5 we all got back on the payroll.
Right.
Is that not? Did that not happen?
Yeah, because I remember something about like retroactive pay for Giles, or
right, and swords and heads.
Like,
I thought we were good.
Right. Yeah. It was like there was an understanding of like, I'm still gonna be on the payroll. Giles still gonna be. Well, I'm not gonna be on the payroll, but Giles is on the payroll, and y'all just leave me alone. Like, how about that?
Right.
Like, I'll do what you want to do. I'll still be the Slayer, but y'all just leave me alone. Stay out of it.
Leave me. So I died for y'all, and I come back, and fuck me, I guess.
Basically.
Is that what they're trying to tell her? Is that since she died at the end of Glory, like, season 6 didn't happen? We weren't cool that whole season?
Right. Yeah. Because I guess, they're just a little butthurt about what's going on, about how she...
They're more than butthurt. They were like, she don't know.
The girl knows nothing.
There's something big happening?
The girl knows nothing. First of all, the Slayer, I would like...
Right, first of all.
I'm not...
She's 22?
Right, exactly. She is the Slayer
Right.
in you guys' whole orbit of things that are happening right now. She's kind of important, more than the girl.
And number 2, again, she's more than a girl.
Right. She's grown.
Kind of needs to know what's going on.
She's grown. And can we please address her as such? And we also need to find Giles too, I guess.
I guess. He should be dead. We've talked about this. He should be
He
dead.
should be dead. And Spike is going through withdrawals from the human
He
blood.
looks like he's going to barf.
He does.
He looks like he's on hour 12 of a hangover.
Yeah.
And he needs that greasy taco. And Willow decides that Anya should be the greasy taco and that they should kill and feed Anya.
Not a safe space,
Spike.
Anya. And that issue's only probably about 10% kidding.
Right.
Just like,
But at the same time, Willow does take that moment to check in with Buffy. You know, she doesn't care how Spike is feeling. She just says, I asked you how you're doing.
which,
I want to know how you're doing.
which is good.
And yeah,
Finally. Like, we're starting to.
except Buffy has no idea.
She's like, I don't know.
This shit is messed up.
The whole thing is fucked up, and
All of it.
I don't know how to deal with this fuckery. And our boy Andrew is back at the school, and he's getting ready to use a tiny pig, a little piglet.
It's the
He's
cutest little
so
pig.
adorable. Like, I love him
When
so
people
much.
have pigs for pets, I understand when I see little pigs like that.
Right, but they grow up to be really gross. But but this guy, he's so cute. But
So cute.
here's the thing. Jonathan was, mindful of full-grown, 11-year-old, we'll say. And he did not have enough blood. So we're just going to supplement that with a pig who's probably
A
about
tiny
10
piglet?
pounds. And also, if we could have used an animal's blood, why did Jonathan have to die?
Exactly.
Andrew, these are the types of questions you need to ask your spirit friends.
He attempts to kill the pig after Warren revs him up.
What I love about this scene is he's like, Babe 2 and Pig in the City was totally underrated.
And then screaming,
That'll do, Pig!
that'll do, pig!
Which I use on a regular basis. I don't know. That'll do,
And
Pig.
Warren is just like, you are the worst pig slayer ever. This is so bad.
It's the worst
So
slaughter.
he decides to go to a butcher shop. Why wasn't this your first idea?
Right. God, like, we're working backwards here on like how to get this seal open that you still don't. I don't think he fully understands why he needs to get it open, other than Warren told him to. He goes to this butcher shop and tries to be real super nonchalant. Bro, you're in Sunnydale. Like, I'm sure this dude gets several requests per week for pig's blood. Like,
Right.
you are not.
But I absolutely love that this 65-year-old man who owns a butcher shop calls him Neo.
Right. He's like trying to be, he's like, okay, so like I'll have 12 pork chops and 14 pounds of sausage and, 2 steaks and, 8 pints of pig's blood and some toothpaste. And he's like, the butcher, he's like, it's a butcher shop, Neo. We don't sell toothpastes. What do you want?
And I love it.
It's amazing. And, Andrew's just like, okay, cool. I'll just have the other stuff. And he goes and just, he's still being nonchalant. He's like, ooh, steak sauce. And he walks across the shop.
Gold. Everything he does is gold.
Oh, man.
Except he runs into Willow.
Like, literally, like on the way out. Like, what are the odds? Willow's there
Right.
to get some blood for Spike so he can feed. But, she runs right into him and he drops all his stuff. Like, I don't recall if they get it back. Like, do they get it?
Oh, yeah. She grabs
That's right.
the bag and runs after him. And she's like, what are you doing with all of this pig's blood?
Right. And I love how he tries to be all big and bold and is like calling her she-witch. And it's like, I am into powers that you have no idea, and blah, blah, blah. She's like, shut up.
So great. Willow has come so far.
She has.
She really, really has.
Basically,
insignificant man.
right. So she bullies him into telling her the truth, but not even like a real like bully. Like it doesn't take much. She's like, yes,
No.
I am a powerful she witch, or just witch. Like,
Or just bitch. And if you piss me off. And then she drags him down the street. Like, how far was the butcher? Because I think they walked.
Yeah.
Was she dragging him by the arm the whole way?
Probably. Did he?
And she really needs to work on her magic stuff because teleportation would have been much faster.
It would have been much faster.
You can do it when you're evil, but you can't do it when you're
Right.
regular.
Like, come on now. I'm sure that's okay. That's not dark magic to want to get somewhere quicker without paying a bus fare or
Right.
a taxi cab. She takes him back to the house, and they're all just like, "Oh, great."
Anya's a savage.
She's a lover. So
They take the coat from him, and he tells her to be careful with it, and she throws it on the floor and steps on it.
she's like, "Oh, new, is it?" It's like, stop. It's like, oh, she's starting immediately. Oh, she's really getting into this. So her and Xander started to play good cop, bad cop. Guess who's the bad cop?
It works.
She starts to smack him around, and she's really
It's
into it. And she's just like, you're barking up the wrong asparagus.
Barking up the wrong asparagus. What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
But that's what I mean about every word out of his mouth is just gold because they're trying to get him to tell what he knows, and then he goes into a story about him and a beautiful girl from Mexico trying to make their way in the world.
Yes, I love the fact that they ask about all the blood. He's like, I met a beautiful lady vampire or whatever down in Mexico. We're trying to make a go for it on the straight and narrow here in Sunnydale.
And so we're cutting back and forth between this room and the horror show that's going on, I think, in Buffy's bedroom, where she's feeding Spike from a bag. And he's like nuzzling at it like a baby goat in full-on vampire face.
It's totally awkward for me to watch this.
It's totally awkward. And I remember seeing Blue. You remember seeing Blue.
Yeah.
He was tied up in the bathtub, and she had a Kiss the Librarian mug with a straw.
Yes.
Why are we not doing that?
Yeah. There's even a nice little Titan figurine that goes along with that to help commemorate that scene.
Right.
Like, why? You just, like, now all of a sudden you're short a couple mugs and it's just too much. You don't have any straws in the house. It's dumb.
But things get out of hand in the interrogation room, and Buffy has to step out and go see what's going on.
Anya's like totally like
Because
slapping the fuck out of
She's
Andrew.
beating the shit out of him.
And she can stop, and I love like just the scene, like the freeze frame of the scene when she pokes her head in there and is like, "Everything okay?" And like the room is trashed. Andrew's on the floor, like Anya's got him by the collar, and she's like in mid punch. Xander's like up against the wall, like, "Oh my god, what happened?" Like,
It's just all gold. Gold. It's so good. Ugh, but Spike is just, he's so not there up until a certain point
yeah.
in this episode, and he's just in the chair and he's talking about, still doesn't really remember what's going on, and
He does manage to tell Buffy his sob story about how he got his soul back, and then he starts to just like get
right time,
yeah,
right
it's like,
place.
I don't know. And he starts to get this moment of clarity about like what their relationship actually was, and it's like, you were using me. She's like, he's like, yeah, I know, you told me, but
But
I'm just now coming to terms with that and understanding it for myself. See, I've been working on myself.
this is my moment. Buffy, we're talking about me, not you.
Right. Some of the things my therapist mentioned about, these are my feelings and I would like to express them to you, but my feelings about our relationship. There's a moment where like Xander's playing his good cop and he goes in to try to soothe Andrew and he's like, oh yeah, Anya, she's a vengeance demon, and Andrew just kind of like, and Xander tries to like go on with, she's killed more men than smallpox, and Andrew's like, does smallpox really kill anybody anymore?
Right? Does it?
Xander tries to make this big old metaphor about what she did to this one guy who hurt her, and something about replaced his heart with darkness, and he had to go on and not looking forward to anything. And Andrew's just, And then he's like, and then she ripped out his intestines and took pictures. And it's like,
Dear
oh
God.
God, wow, that's.
I wish we had gotten to know Andrew a little bit sooner, and he had been on the show much longer.
Yes.
Because he's an absolute delight.
He is. I would have liked to have seen him a little more in the earlier years, and especially just
even in just the background.
right. And and they stick with the joke of like nobody really knowing who he is. Like in this episode, Dawn calls him "What's his face," and when after Spike attacks him, Buffy's like, "You just heard Andrew." He's like, "Who?" She's like, "Tucker's brother." It's like, "Oh, you know what?"
Oh.
Like,
It's like you don't even know who
right?
Tucker
How
is.
you know who Tucker is? Like, come on.
Come on now.
What?
But one of my favorite moments in this episode is when Anya bursts back into the room. You lying son of a bitch! And it's the moment when she smacks Xander.
Yes.
He looks so hurt. And
She slaps the shit out of him. Then she goes right back into wailing on Andrew, and all this is going on. Like, while Buffy left, like when Buffy left Spike alone, first Spike was there. She can hear him like talking to somebody on the other side of the door. He comes in and he's all like, "I'm okay. Everything's
I'm
cool.
good."
Are you sure? It's like, no, it's fine. There's nothing going on.
And I like how the whole time she's walking over, he's like, "I'm just a bit peckish." And the whole time she's walking over to that bowl, she's got one eye on him.
Right. It's like, oh no. And then he vamps out and like pushes her aside and like bursts in through the wall into the next room, giving more work for Xander.
Xander's like, "Fuck this."
Just sets the house on fire. It's like, be done with this place. And just as Andrew is giving up the goods to Anya, like he's telling her about the seal of Danzibar. I don't know.
Close enough.
Yeah. And in mid-sentence, Spike grabs him and takes a chunk out of his neck.
And I have to complain, because if the first really wanted Andrew to be quiet, why didn't he just have Spike snap his neck as soon as he burst through the wall?
Yeah. There's a lot of...
Why you just took a bite and threw him aside? He's just going to tell him later when he wakes up.
Like, yeah, because there was still no conversation. Like, if you tell him anything, I'll kill you. No, like, he just thinks that Spike attacked him for no good reason.
This is a bad plan. The first is bad at planning.
Terrible. It's not too much wrapped into, like, changing into people. And it's not really working on the actual plans. You're too concerned about who you're morphing into. Let's talk about strategy.
Don't like it. I don't like his planning abilities. So they decide finally to put Spike in the basement.
Yes.
And chain him to the wall.
Which should have been the first move. And Buffy starts to tell them, like, what had gone. Just like, I don't know. It was weird. Like, I left the room. He was fine. I come back. He's all weird. But I did hear him talking to somebody, and there was a song. And Xander's like, it's a trigger. He figures out that Spike is like a sleeper cell. And so there's something that's triggering him to go off like this. And so they take it from there. Like, they go into research mode, and while they're doing that, Principal Wood is leaving the school for the day.
Being super creepy.
Super creepy. He's walking through the empty halls, and then he notices the basement door is ajar. He goes down there, and he seems very familiar down in this basement.
He does.
How come he never ran into Spike?
Right.
While Spike was doing his bid down there.
Especially when we find out who he is later.
Right. Like, he would have for sure.
None of this would have happened because he'd have bing, bang, boom. He'd have killed him right away.
Would have been donezo.
While he was crazy.
Yep. Done. And so he's down in the basement, and he comes upon Jonathan's poor dead body on the seal, and he doesn't seem surprised. He's got a shovel already, too.
Yep. Personally, myself, if I come across a slightly ajar door or any kind of creepy thing in Sunnydale after hours, I'm not going to check it.
No, I would close it and keep on about my way.
I wouldn't have taken the job in the first place.
It's like, you want me where? Nah, I'm good.
No.
Hellmouth, no thank you. I hear there's a nice high school in Montana that's looking for a principal. I think I will try there.
Don't they have a janitor or a caretaker? It's been a few days, right?
Yeah.
Like, nobody has stumbled upon poor Jonathan just laying in this hole.
I'm going to say at
that's
least...
only behind one door?
Yeah, I'm going to say at least 24 hours. Like, I'll give it 24 hours. But yeah, so this janitor... So I guess we all go into play because there was something mentioned before about how the walls and everything moves down in the basement. Maybe the janitor was misdirected by
Confused?
maybe the janitor's just like, you know what? I've gotten lost one too many times down that basement. Fuck it. I'm never going back down there again.
I'm not going down there. There's kids down there that I'm not going down there.
It's like I've come across one too many things that I'm not happy about, and so I stay out of the basement.
Yep. Buffy takes care of Spike in the basement, and
I really hate this.
I start to feel bad about myself.
Right, but I really hate this trope in movies and TV shows where somebody's wiping, I don't know, helping to clean up somebody, and they bring like first of all, a kitchen bowl. Like that's a
kitchen bowl. It's like a chip bowl, like a punch bowl.
Right. It's a salad bowl. It's like, you're gonna, okay. And it's only got maybe like, a cup of water in there. And then they bring down a washcloth and they wet just the corner of the washcloth and dip it in ever so slightly. And just
and it comes off. Blood don't come off that easy.
No. You need,
especially when it's been dried.
Right.
Like, it doesn't
you need to get in there and work it out.
Mm-hmm.
So... But there's that, and so here comes the real questionable moments. So
we're about to get deep, people. There's some stories he's about to tell, and I shouldn't like it.
No, let's just put it on. It's the delivery. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily the stories. It's the delivery of how deliciously bad he can be.
And it's the framing of the shot, the lighting. The nice close-up on his face.
The fact that he's like chained to the wall and like you can see the flex in his muscles. So Buffy tells him, he's like, you know what? Good news-ish. We figured out that something is playing you. Something's controlling you. So it's not all your fault. And he's like, kill me. She's like, huh?
Kill me.
What do you mean? That's not exactly where I thought this conversation was going to go.
Yeah. He's like, you don't know me. You don't know what I'm capable of. She's like, I know you. He's like, you have never met me. And I'm like, well, hi. What's up? What's your name? What's your name?
How you doing then? What's your
right?
Pleased to meet you.
And he stands up. And the moment he stands up, it's over.
It's just donezo. I'm just like, okay, so, and as you were saying, we've never met you. And he's like, do you know how much blood you can drink from a girl?
No, but
I'm assuming you're going to tell me. I don't like what. He's like
I'm taking notes. Go on.
The trick is to damage her just enough so that she'll cry while and he just trails off, and I'm just like, I'm so conflicted. I'm so conflicted right now. This. He's like, because the point is, what's the point if she doesn't cry?
And even Buffy's like, oh.
And he just goes on about, what I've done to girls Dawn's age. And he's just trying to basically goad her into killing him. And it's not working.
It's not working. And he's like, have you never asked yourself why it is you can't kill me?
Yes. Spike asked the question that we've all been asking for 7 seasons. No, well, he's only been around since 2. So, but why can't you kill Spike? Why? Why for Buffy? Why? All these years.
Because it fuels her hate fire.
Right, basically. That's his basic answer. That's his thesis. Yes. She's like, because you
men to hurt her.
Well, she's like, her weak ass answer of you've helped and I've seen. So did Anya.
Right.
But you had no problems like shoving a sword through her heart. Like, what?
Right.
What? And he's like, nah, girl, that's not why. It's because you like the pain. You like men. Right? You like the men who hurt you, and you need this pain in order to be the slayer. And she's like, nuh-uh.
Riley could have given you hepatitis C.
And yet.
And you still made excuses.
Right. And yet, we're still all for glory, all about him.
And she's like, but it's because I've seen how you've changed. I've seen your penance.
That explains this time. That explains this. Like, what about 11 times before?
About that time you found that mannequin in his...
Yeah. His shrine to you. Huh? Yeah. What about that?
He tied you up.
Yeah, when he almost let Drew eat you. Huh? How about
Right.
that?
We're not going to talk about the bathtub, but let's talk about that too. You should put a stake in his fucking heart then.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where I find that the argument between which man is Buffy truly in love with comes down to she cannot kill him. She has never been able to kill him. She was ready and willing and able to kill Angelus in season 2.
Right.
She did kill him at the end of season 2 to save the world, but still she killed him.
But still, yeah. And like,
She's never had a problem putting Angel down.
right, exactly. And like, mind you, he was, well, not at the moment of, death, because leading up to he was Angelus. And then, that moment, she's like, ah, shit, now it's too late. I got to kill Angel. But still, like, Spike has gone a long time without a soul. The soul is like, what, like 2 days? Like he's got like a month of soul happening right now. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is, yep. So.
Even from the moment she met him, she didn't kill. Like, that school hard?
Yeah.
When Joyce stepped in and saved her?
Yeah.
You could have chased him down the alley and kept that fight going and killed him.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You let him go.
There's no reasoning up until now. So, yes. Buffy truly loves Spike. We've settled it for everyone.
Come at me, bro. Leave a comment down below.
Yes, exactly. So while all this is going on, the Harbingers break in and cause some more ruckus and snatch up Spike. They take him away. Ha-ha.
And Dawn has learned a thing or two.
I love
Dawn's
it.
holding her own.
I love it. Like, I mean, I'm a little pissed that she hesitated to kill the one, but she did do like a nice little, like flipped one over her, and like well done, Dawn. Especially since Buffy refuses to properly train you, but okay.
Right? Whatever. What the hell? You're making her a little idiot. You complained about her being a little idiot, but you're contributing to it.
Right.
Especially in the next couple episodes, her little ass should be out there anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. And she's like now grown. What we also failed to mention is like Dawn has grown like considerably since like the last episode. I think she shot up like 3 inches.
Yeah. And she gets to wear colors, and she looks so happy.
She probably got
She's
to wear
I'm
heels.
a full-fledged part of the Scoobies now.
Right, look at me contributing. And then Wood is now giving Jonathan like a quote-unquote proper burial. He's got him in the desert somewhere.
Family.
Right? Did they even know where he was? That he was in Mexico?
Probably not.
They have any idea? Do him and Andrew's family have any idea like what went down at all?
Probably not.
Do they care?
I don't think so. No, probably not.
That makes me sad. That makes me so sad. I guess now we know one of the other reasons why Jonathan was ready to take out this, was trying to off himself with a sniper rifle.
In the clock tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even pick the right kind of gun.
So Buffy sees the Harbinger and she's like, I remember fighting these dudes. And then she comes to the conclusion, oh my God, it's the first, which I am shocked that this is the first time that this has occurred to her.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like this, okay.
And I mean, she puts it together like it's the end of a Poirot episode. She's like, I know these guys. Hey! Your thing, all the same thing. I know it. And there's like this big swell.
Right.
It's the first.
It's like, and the audience is like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know. We've been in on this forever.
Like, I don't understand. Like, that was a little too much. Like, the delivery and the editing and the direction on that was like, that only works if the audience doesn't know.
Right.
It's like, we all do.
But we get a nice payoff with Quentin. Like a nice big, fuck you, Quentin.
A big boom of a payoff. Like, they're all in shambles. They're just like running around like little busy bees and like, oh my God, this is happening. We need to find Giles. And he's like, okay, I guess we need to take a road trip to the Hellmouth. And then they're like, huh? And then the place blows up.
Big boom. And I feel bad because Spike's little watcher is there too, the one that was so excited to interview him. But she's now blonde.
This watcher who was all of us.
Yeah, She was. She represented every Spike fan out there.
was like, yeah, girl, we know. Just like, I did my thesis on you.
And then they go boom. They go bye-bye.
Go boom. And I remember that being extremely shocking and surprising and just kind of like, what? When we first saw it.
Yeah. I was very surprised. I was like, well, damn.
It's like, so the whole Watchers Council just gone, huh?
I'm like, maybe y'all shouldn't have been in one place at the same
Yeah,
time.
that was one of the things. Like, so everybody just happened to be there, right? I mean, was this like a real, like, was there some, could there just been like one or two that were late? Like,
Right.
I said that would be me, because that would have been me being late to a meeting.
Doesn't it turn out that, like, later Giles was there right before it exploded because he stole all that shit?
Yeah.
And we were like, did he set the bomb? Did he just
Right.
get all
How did you manage to get all this stuff before the bomb? Like, how?
Right.
I got questions, Giles.
And then we get one final scene where first Spike is having way too much fun tying up
Like, it's weird.
real Spike.
It's weird.
It's real weird. The first really likes to morph, so it ends the episode as Buffy. Which we come to find out later on that the first can only... the rules are murky. It can only be people that are dead.
Right.
But Buffy isn't dead. She was dead, so is that a loophole? Like, because she was dead?
I guess so. And all,
So
yeah,
stupid.
it is. And like, the whole thing of there's still like that loophole of how Spike's chip does not activate when he hurts Buffy.
Or when he bit Andrew.
Yeah, so I guess when he's under the influence of the first, the chip does not work.
Sure, that's how science works.
Yeah, okay. Got it. So there was plenty of they bleed Spike on the seal and turn him upside down, and it starts to do stuff. It starts like a transformer.
Because no one that worked at the school ever noticed the seal was there. It never showed up in any kind of excavating blueprints.
No, and also, why is there a dirt floor in the basement of the school?
Why is there a dirt floor? And they dug, like, far.
Yeah.
So somebody had to go down there with a jackhammer and dig up the subfloor to get to that dirt floor.
Right.
So they had to remove the concrete floor. Whatever flooring was there first, then the concrete subfloor, then the actual subfloor to get to dirt. This is a 6-month process.
Who is doing
where
this?
you needed 5 quotes from construction companies before you start this project.
Right. So I would like to know who was doing this, and was there like a trade-off, or is there just like, tagging and whatever? But so like,
I don't think Andrew and Jonathan were down there
No.
with the jackhammer. I don't think so.
no, they came down there. It was straight up dirt by the time they got there. So whatevs. The gnarliest vampire comes out of the seal. It's like he's been waiting. Like the way that he arrives, it's just like this is my time. Like it's like,
Imagine like a steampunk hipster Nosferatu.
that's exactly what he
That's
is.
what came out of that hole.
That's exactly what it is. It's a little. It's like been left out in the sun for a little while. Like he's a little. He seems a little more drier or something than Nosferatu. Like I don't know.
Yes.
But
And she tells Spike, do you want to see what a real vampire looks like?
ooh,
And it's like, but I thought we did see what a real vampire looks like in Pylea when
oh yeah,
that nasty version of Angel came out.
that's right. Also, the master,
It was so gross. Right.
wasn't he supposed to be like the OG?
And Kakistos was so old that he just got cloven feet.
Right.
Which, okay, science doesn't work like that either, but
I need y'all to work on your mythologies, like keep them straight.
yeah, just a little bit. There's no music in this episode, just Robert Duncan's score.
Which,
So, missed opportunity with the Saturday Night Fever.
right, exactly.
We already talked about the burn, but it was so good. You should give it to him again.
Yes, Anya, telling it like it is. Just letting them all know that, I hadn't forgotten. Shouldn't we just stab him through the chest? Isn't that what we do when these things happen? I ain't forgot.
I ain't forgot. You still haven't said sorry.
Nope, not one word, Buffy. I'm looking at you.
This was a buffet of death.
Yeah.
In this episode, we had 1 Harbinger killed by Xander, 2 killed by Buffy. Quentin was killed in the bomb. Lydia was killed in the bomb. Philip was killed in the bomb. Nigel was killed in the bomb. And then an unidentified number of Watchers were killed in the bomb that we will later find out was set by Caleb.
An unidentified number of Watchers. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. A lot of Watchers.
Not to mention whoever else was in that building.
Right.
There's
receptionists. I'm sure was there like a gift shop at the down at the bottom, like
coffee shop, something like.
There's
people walking by,
right,
hit by debris. There was a lot of people killed in that explosion.
That's fucked up.
Does it pass the Bechdel test?
Not really.
I don't think so.
I think we got close with Willow asking Buffy about herself, but ended up being about Spike anyway. So, nope.
Random trivia: when Principal Wood is burying Jonathan's body, after he's pushed in the corpse, his eyes flicker.
And that same thing happens in Practical Magic when they're getting Goran, whatever, when they're dragging his dead body from the kitchen. The kitchen door swings back and hits him in the head, and his eyes and his closed eyes like he felt it, like the actor felt
People
that.
People are so bad at playing dead. Chests rise and fall.
Right. It's like, and I just sit there and think, like, why did we use that take? Like, why?
Right. You couldn't have got a different one? I love that movie, though.
It's amazing. Yes, it's one of my faves.
And the moral of this story is if your dead best friend starts talking to you, seek medical attention immediately. Nope, no excuses or rationalizations. Seek medical attention immediately.
Cosign. Yes, absolutely.
Just saying.
Yes.
There is no situation where that would ever be okay.
No. Like, you have to immediately question yourself and your surroundings and things that you have ingested, perhaps, or things that you have done. Take a quick look inside. So let us know your thoughts on Never Leave Me by, following us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, or you can send us an email with a MP3 recording on revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com, and we'll probably play it on the air. Next episode we're talking about is Bring On the Night.
What is with the episode titles in this season?
I don't know, but they make it really difficult for me to remember what each episode is about.
Yes. This season in particular, it's like, what's the next one called? Sleeper?
Right.
What's the next one called? Never Leave Me.
It's like, that doesn't...
What's the next one called?
Like, none of this is ringing any bells.
What? Which one is that? Is there a single episode? Oh, there's only one, and it's Storyteller. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about Dirty Girls.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about another episode where we will feel bad about ourselves.
Yeah, man. Jeez Louise. I'm assuming that's the one where Faith comes back and has a moment with Spike. Revisiting Sunnydale is produced by Rugged Angel Productions and hosted by Camila and Marcella. Please follow the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you are in the giving mood, please consider being a patron by going to patreon.com/revisitingsunnydale.